The morning sun filtered gently through the thin curtains of Daniel's apartment, painting soft golden stripes across the worn-out floor. Life hadn't magically become easy overnight, but something had changed, quietly, steadily. Hope had returned. Daniel stood in the kitchen, flipping pancakes, Lily's favorite, while humming a tune he barely remembered. It wasn't happiness exactly, but something close. Something warm. Something he hadn't felt since his wife passed away. Lily rushed in, her hair still messy from sleep. "Daddy. Judge Evelyn said she'll come today, right?" Daniel chuckled. "Yes, pumpkin. She said she had something important to drop off." Lily squealed. "Maybe it's cookies." Daniel smiled, shaking his head. Maybe. But deep inside, he wondered. Evelyn never did anything casually. Every visit, every gesture, had purpose, quiet, gentle purpose. And he had grown to care about her presence more than he admitted. An unexpected visit. A soft knock echoed through the apartment. Lily ran to the door before Daniel could stop her. Evelyn stood there, holding a cardboard box, her smile warm and familiar. She looked different today, less like a judge and more like a friend. A confidant. Someone who cared. "Good morning," she said softly. Daniel felt his chest tighten, surprised by his own reaction. "Good morning. Please come in." The apartment wasn't much, peeling walls, mismatched chairs, a carpet that was older than Lily, but Evelyn looked around without judgment, without pity. Only kindness. "I brought something for Lily," she said, placing the box on the table. Lily tore it open and gasped. Inside was a brand new school backpack, notebooks, colored pencils, and a warm pink jacket. "For me," she whispered. "For you," Evelyn nodded. "Because you deserve to go to school with everything you need." Tears formed in Lily's eyes as she hugged the jacket. "Thank you, Miss Evelyn." Evelyn touched her hair gently. "You're very welcome." But Daniel stood frozen. He wasn't used to help. He wasn't used to generosity without strings. The kindness made him feel vulnerable, exposed. "Judge Evelyn," he said quietly, "you've already done enough for us. You didn't have to." She looked at him calmly. "Daniel, call me Evelyn. And I didn't do this because I had to." The silence between them felt warm. Soft. Something unspoken lingered in the air. A special offer. Evelyn reached into her bag and pulled out an envelope. "I wanted to tell you this in person," she said. "I found a community scholarship that could help you take evening classes. Paralegal training. It's fully funded." Daniel stiffened. "Me? I haven't been in school for years." "You helped me on the highway," she said gently. "And I saw something in you that day." "What?" "Strength. Persistence. Intelligence. And a heart that refuses to give up." He swallowed hard, emotions rising. "Evelyn, I work 2 jobs. I don't know if I can." "I checked the schedule," she cut in softly. "The classes are late evenings. If you want, I can help watch Lily during the sessions." Time froze. Her offer wasn't just practical, it was personal. Deep. Intimate. "Why are you doing this?" Daniel finally whispered. Evelyn looked directly into his eyes. "Because I believe in you." Daniel's breath caught. No one had said that to him in years. No one had looked at him the way she did, with trust, with faith, with something kinder than he thought he deserved. Lily interrupted the moment by tugging Evelyn's hand. "Will you stay for breakfast?" Evelyn laughed. "I'd love to." And just like that, the 3 of them sat together, pancakes, warm sunlight, soft smiles. A picture Daniel had never imagined possible. A picture that looked a lot like family. The shadow of the past. But life wasn't done testing them. That afternoon, as Daniel walked to the auto shop for his shift, a black SUV pulled up beside him. The window rolled down. His landlord's lawyer sat inside, glaring. "Reyes," he hissed, "don't think you've won. You think a judge's sympathy will save you forever? The landlord wants you out, and will find another way." Daniel felt cold fear grip his spine. We know people, the lawyer added darkly. People who don't care about judges. The SUV sped off, leaving dust and dread behind. Daniel stood frozen on the sidewalk, heart pounding. For the first time in weeks, fear crept back into his life. Not for himself. For Lily. And maybe, for Evelyn. He walked the rest of the way trembling, not knowing that this threat would soon pull him into a storm far bigger than eviction. A storm where Evelyn would not only defend him, but risk everything for him. The winter rain was coming down in cold, sharp sheets when Daniel Reyes saw her. A lone figure standing beside a stalled car on the empty highway, waving her hands desperately at passing vehicles. Most ignored her. A few slowed down, only to speed up again. But Daniel wasn't like most people. He never had the luxury to ignore someone else's pain. He pulled over his rusty blue van, its engine coughing like an old smoker. He rolled down the window. "Are you all right, ma'am?" he asked softly. The woman looked soaked, shivering, and exhausted. "My car just died, and my phone battery too. I don't know what to do." Daniel nodded. "Hop in. I'll help you." She hesitated, studying him, his worn jacket, oil-stained hands, tired eyes. But something about him felt trustworthy. Safe. "Thank you," she whispered, climbing into the van. Her name was Evelyn Brooks. His name, she would learn later, was one that life had battered more than once. A single dad's struggle. Daniel lived in a small, leaky apartment with his 8-year-old daughter, Lily. His wife had passed away 3 years ago after a long illness that drained every saving he had. Since then, life was a relentless cycle of double shifts, overdue bills, and constant fear of losing everything he still had. Worst of all, he was fighting a court battle with his landlord, who was trying to evict him unfairly just to renovate and raise the rent. Daniel had no money for a lawyer. No influence. No hope. But Evelyn didn't know any of this, yet. As Daniel worked on her car under the cold rain, she noticed how he never complained, never asked for anything, and kept checking his old phone as if waiting for someone important. "Do you need to be somewhere?" she asked. "My daughter," he said with a weak smile. "Her school bus comes early today. I promised I'd be there." Evelyn watched him. A stranger helping her in the freezing rain when his own life was clearly hanging by a thread. It took an hour, but he finally got her car running. "You're a miracle worker," she said gratefully. He shook his head. "Just trying to do the right thing." Before she left, she reached for her purse, but Daniel raised a hand gently. "No payment, ma'am. Just pay it forward." Evelyn stared at him, stunned. People like him, pure-hearted, selfless, were rare. She drove away, but she didn't forget him. The courtroom shock. 3 days later, Daniel stood in a crowded courtroom, holding Lily's small hand. The landlord's lawyer smirked, confident of victory. Daniel had no representation. No documents. Just truth and desperation. "Please, I just need more time," he pleaded. "My daughter, we have nowhere else to go." The bailiff announced the judge. Everyone rose. And Daniel froze. Judge Evelyn Brooks walked in. The same woman he had rescued in the rain. She recognized him instantly. Her eyes widened, but she quickly regained her professional expression. Court began. The landlord's lawyer exaggerated claims, twisted facts, and painted Daniel as irresponsible. Daniel's shoulders sagged as he realized he had no way to defend himself. Then Judge Evelyn spoke. "Mr. Reyes, do you have anything to say in your defense?" He swallowed hard. "I'm trying my best. I work 2 jobs. I always pay what I can. I just need time. My daughter depends on me. I'm not a bad tenant, Your Honor. I'm just tired. But I'm not giving up." A silence. Then Evelyn turned to the landlord. "Your request is denied." The room gasped. "Not only will I grant Mr. Reyes a 12-month extension and freeze the rent," Evelyn continued firmly, "but I also order a full investigation of your wrongful eviction practices." The landlord's face turned pale. Daniel felt tears sting his eyes. Lily squeezed his hand. When the session ended, Evelyn stepped down from the bench and approached him quietly. "You helped me when I had no one," she said softly. "And you asked for nothing. Let me return the kindness." Daniel couldn't speak. Emotion clogged his throat. "You're a good father," she added. "Don't ever doubt that." A new beginning. Weeks passed. Evelyn found ways to help Daniel discreetly, connecting him with free legal support, job opportunities, and community aid programs. She never made him feel small. Never made him feel like charity. Lily adored her. Daniel respected her deeply. They kept crossing paths, sometimes coincidentally, sometimes not. Conversations grew warmer. Smiles lingered longer. Pain became shared. Burdens became lighter. Until one spring afternoon, in a park full of sunlight and children's laughter, Evelyn knelt to tie Lily's untied shoelace, brushing the little girl's hair from her face like she'd always been part of their world. Daniel watched, heart full. "You didn't just save us," he said softly. Evelyn looked up. "You gave us hope again." The message. This story isn't about luck. It's about kindness. How one act, small, inconvenient, unnoticed, can change everything. How helping a stranger can return to you in ways you never imagined. And how, sometimes, the people who save us are the same people we once stopped to save.